all the decadent horrors I have seen pale in comparison to that final, crowning thing. I could not look, nor could I look away.
Hello everyone, Science Viking here, and I'm back to Darkest Dungeon. So, everybody who needs treatment is getting treatment for the most part, and we're kind of low on gold. So, let's see what kind of missions they've got for us. Okay, so the apprentice mission is useless to me. Whoa, even more flickering. And for, let's see, I can get silence in the crypts and also a sniper's ring. I think I still have a gunslinger's buckle. And equip all trinkets and sort, just to make sure I do actually have. No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. I have 2 of them. Let's see. Could get lost and found, which could actually be helpful, as well as a sun ring, which is at least marginally useful. Or a caregiver's convention. I think I want to engineer a caregiver's convention. I have some quirks to deal with. So now the question is, who do we bring? So, yeah, I can't bring Drool. Let's bring Corey, because I definitely want the Vestal to get some experience. Other than that, what team composition do I want to go for? There's a lot of options. So we're going into the Weald, so I don't really want to rely on Blight too much, but Bleeding could be good. So let's say I bring a Jester. So I bring a Jester, a Crusader, and a Leper. The Fool's Congregation. Alright. And despite being the highest level, the Vestal is the one who gets the portrait because of the extra resolve experience, as well as the Tome of Holy Healing. I know we have we have the Bright Tambourine is really good, and then the critical dice. The bloody dice would be nice, but we lost them. And for the Crusader, Gilpin, we have Holy Orders. The reduced blight resistance could be an issue, but should be okay. And then Paralyzer's Crest. Okay, we definitely want the immunity mask, the disease resistance even more than the blight resistance. And yeah, I'm gonna go with the redemption armlet. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of our good trinkets to the last Darkest Dungeon run. Particularly a lot of our good leper equipment. We need a lot of torches because we're in the Weald. And because we're going to be finding stuff, so we're going to be running back and forth more than usual. Plenty of shovels because we're in the Weald. Plenty of anti-venom because we're in the Weald. A few bandages and some medicinal herbs. I don't need that many medicinal herbs. A couple of keys. And I'd say we're prepared. Yeah, you tell me that now, but now it's too late to change what I brought.
Our land is remote and unneighbored. Every lost resource must be recovered.
Okay. Curio, quest location, and a room battle with treasure. Okay. This is a rather generous layout. That's a altar of the Shambler. I may actually go for that, depending on how the rest of the mission goes. Let's open up with Dazzling Light. I'm definitely dazzled by how she managed to miss that.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
Yeah, unfortunately the best answer we can come up with is please don't.
Executed.
I think there's a lesson here, and that lesson is actually check how my abilities are laid out before I start the mission.
blistering
Because nobody
fear
has the abilities I want them
consumes
to
the
have.
mind.
Well, Zealous Accusation can get rid of the maggot at least. And just stick with Harvest. To accumulate food. And our old friend Chop. And our old friend Smite.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
So you're good. So I drop Dirk Stab for Slice Off. You're mostly good, though. The Crusader, on the other hand, gonna drop Bulwark of Faith for, the Torch plus 24 is good. I'm dropping Bulwark of Faith for Stunning Blow. And you really need to have Hue. I'm gonna drop Withstand. Intimidate, or I'm gonna drop Intimidate for Solemnity, too. Alright. And a Churgeon Satchel. And now, time for some more violence. Harvest. Yeah, the problem with Harvest... Yeah, he missed because he's not used to the wheat trying to get out of the way when he uses Harvest. Right. Actually, I have an idea. Let's start with Zealous Accusation, which won't kill. And then Hue, which also won't kill because it didn't hit. And you have to hit in order to kill. Yay, Cytokinesis. Cytokinesis and slime. Also, I love how when they duplicate, the freshly created slime already has a skeleton in it. Like, this isn't the skeleton of someone that they've killed. This is just, like, actually a part of its body, apparently.
Obliterated.
I meant to use Harvest, not Slice Off. Well,
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Dazzle this one.
The match is struck. A blazing star is
And
born.
smite that one. Now I want you to use Slice Off. Also, how exactly does slime
Death by
bleed?
inches.
I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'd like to
Foolish
know.
horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
Right. And back past the altar of the Shambler. Careful, don't touch. This is a big map. Though the quest locations could
Nature
be all
herself,
close by.
a victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed with misintent.
All we got out of that was citrine. The game has been really generous with the heirlooms ever since we reached the point where we don't need heirlooms. But it's also been generous with the scouting, which is a lot more important. And as usual, one of the main hazards of the Wield is just
Finding
how
the
long
stuff
the
is
damn
only the
hallways
first
are.
test. Now it must be carried home.
Except not, because we just left it there. Curio and room battle with treasure. I'll worry about going this way later. I very well may come back here to take on the Shambler. Okay. I'm gonna take a risk and have the Vestal disarm the trap, and that risk failed to
Carelessness
pay
will
off.
find no clemency in this place.
Spirits command you. Well, fortunately, it didn't do any damage, but
As the light
this is
gains
why
purchase,
I prefer to. This is why I
spirits
want a
are lifted,
caregivers convention.
and
Actually,
purpose is made clear.
I'm not used to a room being a quest location and not having any enemies. Also, yeah, our third quest location is right here. So after we knock this out, I'm going back for the Shambler.
In Radiance,
Slice
may we
off.
find victory.
Because I want her gone as quickly as possible. And that's why. 95% stress, that's concerning. So Chop to remove one enemy immediately. And Judgment to remove another.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
Alright, let's go with Inspiring Fire to keep the Vestal from becoming afflicted. She went into this with kind of high stress. Let's see if we can prevent it from getting dangerously high. Quick group heal.
Sedated.
And Inspiring Tune.
A brilliant
Even without the
confluence
trinket, it
of
reduces
skill
stress
and
by
purpose.
11. That's actually rather impressive considering the fact that stress of 100 is what makes you become afflicted. And yep, this is basically the turn order that I want.
Compassion is a
Quick
rarity
heal.
in the fevered pitch of battle.
May as well use Solemnity to get rid of that last bit of stress. Inspiring Tune. He's already stunned, and now we finish him off.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
We're a little bit behind the times, Ancestor. They've all already been destroyed. This is bandages. Well, okay, the spider web is not literally bandages, but y'all know what I mean. Though, bandages made out of spider web sounds like the kind of idea we would come up with. It's like the spiders are the greatest untapped resource we have. Need to do something with them. And another quest location without a battle. Yeah, we're definitely going to continue adventuring. A lot of scouting revealing that there's a lot of nothing over here. I'm gonna go get this treasure, and then I'm taking on a Shambler. I mean, this mission, you've seen how well this mission is going. I have to screw it up somehow. It's in my contract.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Let's just continue with the backtracking, which is especially dangerous in the Weald because of the hallway length. But we're almost there. And now we're into only marginally charted territory. I want to see what's in that chest, though with my luck it's going to be an heirloom chest that has nothing. Oh, this one's just a torch, not a torch and a jute tapestry. Ah, bandits. Wait a second. Between the bandits and the cultists, I believe I've fought more human enemies in this mission than non-human enemies.
Precision and power.
Smite? No. Stunning blow. Cutthroat is more dangerous from a damage perspective.
The blood quickens.
And yeah, I don't have Intimidate.
Monstrous
I don't
size
have
has
Intimidate,
no
but I'm
intrinsic merit.
he may not have
Unless
Intimidate, but I'm going to be honest.
Sanguination be
Those guys are
considered a
probably
virtue.
feeling pretty intimidated right now. I mean, the Fusilier even managed to miss because of it. Twice! But look at that guy's accuracy and admit he is panicked. In hindsight, I really should have used Inspiring Tune. Solemnity. You're bleeding for 3 and you have 4, so let's finish you off with Smite. Let's fail to finish you off with Smite. Go for the group heal. Because I really should use Inspiring Tune at least once or twice more on the Vestal. We are going to have to deal with damage from Blanket Fire, though. However, that's relatively easy to
Momentary
fix.
abatement.
And I have both Inspiring Tune and Inspiring Cry.
How quickly the tide turns.
Cry on the Vestal. Okay, one more Inspiring Tune and we're probably at least in an okay place stress-wise. Which is good because we're getting into a not okay place health-wise.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
No reason not to use Inspiring Cry on the Vestal.
The light, the promise of safety.
Because she can use Divine Comfort and heal everyone. And this guy will just die
Slowly,
like that.
Gently. This is how a life is taken.
They don't need the deeds. And we did all of that for 25 gold. We got more loot from the fight than we did from the chest. Alright, we need to save one torch for the Shambler. Other than that, the torch level matters very little unless a random encounter respawns. And yep, there's a reason I'm saving the firewood. I'm planning on making camp right before we take on the Shambler. Unfortunately, I just barely don't have enough food to have everyone feast right before the fight. But I can have everybody make camp, de-stress, buff everyone, and then once we're nice and ready, we can take the Shambler on. So right by the entrance. And... oh, I can change his equipped camping skills now. Okay, the main thing is I want him to have reflection. For you... I'm going to drop Unshakable Leader because his stress level is 8 and give him Zealous Vigil instead, since that will also reduce his stress. For you, every rose has its thorn is the important one. And let's trade Pep Talk for Tiger's Eye, because that's going to be helpful. And for you, you have the 4 that you can have. Let's make camp.
A spark without kindling is a goal without hope.
Okay, so the first one is Zealous Vigil to guarantee that we can't have a nighttime ambush. Follow that with, let's see, so I'm actually going to follow that with Tiger's Eye on the Leper, followed by Reflection on the Leper, because I need as much accuracy boosting for him as I can get. Unfortunately, this leaves us without enough time units to use the stress reduction abilities that affect multiple people, so I'm just going to de-stress the Vestal. I realize that the Jester's stress level is a little bit higher, but the reason why I'm going for the Vestal anyway is because honestly, she's the one we can least afford to lose. And now, let's see if I can do this. I'm as prepared as I'm gonna be.
Behold the infinite malignity.
Oh, right,
of
we're
the
automatically
stars.
surprised. I forgot about that part. Just move back 1 so that... start with Dazzling. 120% stun resistance, 120% stun chance base. That's useless. I'm actually going to have her move back 1 so that the Leper can move forward. So... Stunning Blow is 130% stun chance, but that 10% chance to stun isn't enough when I can use Smite. Yeah, so you can only move forward 1. Undulating Withdrawal, which summons its Shambler Spores. So, Joland has one job. Bleeding resistance is relatively low. Just accumulate bleeding damage on it. The other two, the thing about the other two is they can't attack anything that's not in position 1 or 2. You actually have to move forward once more before you can fight. So their job is to deal with the minions. The minions are the main source of damage. So only they were unholy rather than eldritch. So they can just keep smiting the minions. It's going to be a bit of an issue because of the fact that... wish I brought more bandages. It's going to be a bit of an issue because of the fact that the torch level is 0, so we all can't really see. Slice off. Okay, that's something. I mean, it's a total of 12 damage. Oh, lovely. And you can't do anything except move back one. Forward one. I'll give you the bandage. Okay, Chop might get rid of that. Good. That's a step. Still have to deal with another clapper. A clapper crit. Wonderful. You move forward one, because we need you to damage the Shambler. Alright, just go with Smite. The problem is the Shambler is oddly durable. Like, it's only... Actually, one of the main problems is it keeps throwing everybody out of position.
A momentary abatement.
Just move forward one. The leper is going to slowly advance towards the enemy. Oh, and of course, Clapper Claw can comfortably hit in any position. Slice off. Oh, slice crit. And the crit got bleeding, too, which means it lasts longer. You're going to need Divine Grace on yourself just because you're that close to death's door. Odorous Advancement, but it missed this time. Okay, it summoned the Shambler Spore. 9 to 16. You could one-shot the Spore. And I'll just have the leper keep walking forward. Still dealing with every turn a Clapper Claw.
A hand's breadth from becoming unwound.
We're almost there. Slice off. Another... You know, Jolan, I said you were less essential. I was very, very wrong.
To perform beyond one's limits.
Inspiring Cry to get the Vestal off death's door so we don't lose her.
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
Alright. And her resolve is tested. And unsurprisingly, it goes bad. Alright.
Injury and despondence
great.
set the stage for heroism.
Move back one.
Or cowardice.
Forward one. Yeah, unfortunately, we are so completely out of position, we're in some serious trouble. Haha! And Joland, ever the hero.
Is power. Unleash it.
Okay, move back 3. I realize that puts the Vestal in position 1, but I can move her once, and now the leper is in position 1. Undulating withdrawal, so it's calling up another minion.
About to break.
Alright. Inspiring Cry. Get the Vestal off of Death's Door. That's all I need you to do right now. Okay, Anti-Venom. Go for Chop, because it has a good chance of one-shotting one of them. Not a certainty, but a good chance. That's good. Okay, that's not good, but at least you tried.
And now, the true test. Hold fast.
Who goes next?
Or expire.
Okay, slice off. The problem with killing this thing through bleeding damage is that it takes a while.
As life ebbs.
I mean, it's bleeding for more hit points than it has. Now, it's bleeding for more hit points than it has. Any further damage will just make it expire faster. Q can't kill these in one hit. Chop can. Odorous Advancement. The only person that hit was the Vestal. Wonderful. Inspire. Just stick with... I guess not. Let's just stick with Inspiring Cry because it's going to take Gilpin quite a while to get into position. Also, it's not quite bleeding for more than its hit points. It's only close to that.
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
There is no escape from here, save to slay all. Well, slice off. Critical.
Impressive.
And now it's bleeding for 16. It's bleeding for 16. Okay, and we lost him.
In the pursuit
Wonderful.
of glory and gold.
It's being really generous with the virtue today.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
Alright. Corey, just go for group healing. Get yourself off of death's door and heal the other two. No death for you today. Save that which you sow. 7 to 12. It's bleeding for 16. 16 plus 5, so yes. If it hits, that's the end of the Shambler. You move forward one to allow the vessel to use your stronger healing
The space
ability.
between worlds is no place for mortal man.
Alright, that's the end of the Shambler, but we still need to kill the minions. Alright. Who acts next? Okay, so this means that if Gilpin goes before the Vestal, no one dies to him. So everyone's resolve is tested, and 3 out of 4 came out courageous. Or came out. Everyone's resolve was tested, and 3 out of 4 came out virtuous. This is, I think, the luckiest I have ever gotten. This is amazing. I can't believe this.
A faint hope blossoms.
And the leper has his usual problem. So he is I believe the only one. No, he hasn't. The Crusader has also not been on death's door, but the leper has done a great job of just holding together compared to everyone else, both physically and mentally. Well, heal everyone then.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
No death for you today, save that which you sow. And there we go.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
And I feel very sad that we lost our Jester. He was in it, but at the same time, that is all, we got the Ancestor's Tentacle Idol, plus 20% virtue chance and 8% death blow resistance. That is amazing. That is an amazing piece of loot.
These medicines will prevent the outbreak of epidemic at our struggling hamlet.
But even with the best luck I could possibly have hoped for, this getting truly unbelievably lucky, we still lost someone against the Shamblers. Shamblers are dangerous. I also have to admit, Jolland, you the real MVP. Just even though he didn't survive, he is the reason why we won. That stacking, those stacks of bleeding damage, that was what really put the Shambler down. And Touche has diminished blight resistance. It's a bit of an issue. And also Corey has actually achieved champion status. She went from 4 all the way up to 6. And we have a champion level Vestal once your stress level is
of rare and exotic injuries makes this place perfect for the study of suffering.
And Corey is also going to be the first person to get treated. We're getting rid of her weak grip on life. On life! Her weak grip on life. Her weak grip on life. Not really much reason to lock either of these in, so I'll just treat her for that. Let's see about the others. Starting with the champions who haven't been to the Darkest Dungeon yet. Let's see. I'm thinking of treating Boissel's Lazy Eye and locking in Corvid's Grace. Because the thing about Lazy Eye is his debuffing skills are ranged. Let's see if Canuville could potentially use some training. Alright. I think I want to treat Ide's light sensitivity as the last thing I'm going to treat, because the issue is it kind of sucks for her to have both night blindness and be light sensitive, because it means the torch has to be between 26 and 74 for her to be fully effective. So I'm going to get rid of that. And while I'm at it, I may as well lock in Steady. The minus 10% stress received could be very helpful. Okay, nobody has any diseases. Let's see about new recruits to make up for the person who died. I'm inclined to go with the Vestal just because we have a shortage of those, but at the same time, there wouldn't be any missions I could send her on under normal circumstances. So I think actually I'll take the Plague Doctor. I can get at least some use out of the Plague Doctor, and since the Plague Doctor's already level 3, I can continue training.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Alright, now we have some people who need some stress treatment. Oh, Boissel is also being... So Boissel is already being treated, so he can't get stress treatment. Corey is also being treated, so she can't get stress treatment. Let me see something. So, I'm already kind of planning my next run at that portion of the Darkest Dungeon, so who would I send? Let's see. I kind of want a more defense-oriented team composition. So I'd probably send a Leper. I'd probably also send a Man-at-Arms, in addition to a Vestal. Let me see something. Bertrand. So, actually, I'm inclined to bring Bertrand for the next one, both to have a secondary healer, and also because having an ability that cures blight and bleeding could be very useful in that dungeon. So then my front runner would I'd probably stick with Altard in the front, since a Leper is actually pretty good in that dungeon. And then I'd probably want a Man-at-Arms, because the thing is, I found out, someone told me, having 4 of these torches is actually a glitch. You're only supposed to have 3, and a glitch causes a duplicate to appear in your inventory. So, I'm not going to use the 4th one because I feel like exploiting a glitch would be cheating, and I want to win fair and square. So, having access to Defender, I can give a torch to the Man-at-Arms who's going on the mission, and then the Man-at-Arms can just use Defender to intercept revelations that are aimed at the character who is equipping who doesn't have a torch. So that would mean that Bao Zhou, my highest level Man-at-Arms who isn't a champion, is going to be going on my next mission, because I want to train him up to be high enough level to take on the Darkest Dungeon. So, Touché probably should get treated. So, let's also see what the Nomad Wagon has for us. Very little of substance. For Bao Zhou, let's see what camping skills he could learn. Instruction could actually be really good if I'm bringing a Leper. Because I can give the Leper the... I can use that to boost the Leper's accuracy. Weapons practice is also good for the same reason. These, I'm probably just going to have him have all 4 of these or something like that. Though I've just discovered that you can change characters equipped, you can change which camping skills characters have equipped any time as long as you're not actively camping. Alright. So, next thing is to take the people I'm planning on using and making sure they're as upgraded as they can be. So, Altard needs to max out those 3 at least. And what about his equipment? His equipment is maxed out. Altard, and then where's Bertrand? Okay, Bertrand is good as far as abilities go. How is he for equipment? He's good for equipment too. Alright, so obviously I'll need to upgrade Beaujeu before I actually use him, but he's as upgraded as he can be otherwise. So, let's start another mission. Beaujeu is going, and Gilpin may as well also go. The Crusader was Montfort, the Crusader, was very helpful last time, and I can't use him in the Darkest Dungeon again. Okay, so I don't want to do anything shorter than a medium mission. Ooh, more flickering. So, Quick Draw Charm, that's a maybe. Tome of Holy Healing is pretty redundant. See, the Sun Cloak is pretty mediocre, honestly. I don't know that I'll get a lot of use out of the, On the other hand, the thing is, I need to burn at least 1 week after I've trained Beaujeu up before we can go, because Corey will need... She's currently being treated for a quirk. She'll need her stress to be treated later. So I can go this week and create Silence in the Crypts, and then go next week and benefit from it. So, Talvis, our other Vestal, and now I just need a good third person who doesn't really need support from another class. So let's go with him. This is a very stun-heavy team. Okay. Drop Mace Bash for Judgment. And this time you get the Sacred Scroll and the Tome of Holy... Oh, I have to unequip all trinkets all at once. So you get the Sacred Scroll and the Tome of Holy Healing. You get the Protective Padlock and the Restraining Padlock in case I doubt I'll need him to transform, but in case I do, he's well suited for it. Holy Orders and... Let's see. I'll go with the Paralyzer's Crest again. And... the old staple of the Flesh's Heart. Actually, I forgot about the Ancestor's Tentacle Idol. That thing's amazing. Let's get the portrait, and then instead of the Paralyzer's Crest, you get the Ancestor's Tentacle Idol. I'm sad that we lost someone fighting that Shambler, but for the Tentacle Idol really is worth that. My god, I'm turning into the Ancestor. But that idol is amazing. Get some bandages, get some anti-venom. I don't think we need very much of either. We are going to want holy water. And I believe there are interactions for medicinal herbs, and I will not forget the food. Especially since in the crypts there's really no way to get more. Whoa. That actually jump scared me for a minute. Alright. The undead will not bleed, but they can be blighted. Well, fortunately, I brought someone who's good at that.
Can the defiled be consecrated? Can the fallen find rest?
I guess we'll find out. Well, I forgot something, and that something was shovels.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Alright, and our positioning isn't thrown off that badly. spiders are always a problem, though. Eight to 15, so you could actually. Yep.
Fiend.
That's one.
Continue
I realize it's better to take out one type first, but at the same time, I want to wear the enemy down. I want to just diminish their numbers as much as I can. This enemy team is so quickly going to die, I may as well just heal. 4 to 6. Judgment won't kill. So let's just attempt to stun and fail at it. How about that? That's one of them stunned. Now let's see if I can stun the other one too. I can! And rampart your way back into the position you're supposed to be in.
Maintain the offensive.
I'll go for Absolution. I'm hoping to get the Crusader a chance to use Inspiring Cry. Well, I'll get it now, but I really should have killed the spider.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
You're only bladed for 3 turns. It's not very much damage in total.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Without shovels, scouting is going to be especially important. Okay, we've already got our first quest location, I think. Which means it was actually necessary to go this way. Crushed us 7 to 13, so it won't kill, but it can at least get us started in that direction. 4 to 6, so decent chance, but nope, not quite. That's okay. The Abomination will fail to finish the job because the enemy dodged. One of them dodged, the other took 0 damage and resisted everything. It's not every day that an attack manages to fail that hard. I'm just going for Inspiring Cry. I'm hoping the stress heal will wash over onto me. Let's try that Beast Bile trick again.
Falls, a faint hope blossoms.
And now we need hit points. He resisted every aspect of Rampart. See if he can resist Stunning Blow. There, how do you like that? Unfortunately, with relatively high protection for a veteran level enemy, he could be a bit of a problem. I have an idea. We use Defender basically to protect from stress damage. And V-Spile is the only remotely efficient way to damage this thing. Stick with healing.
A momentary abatement.
And may as well go for one last Inspiring Cry for the road.
The light.
At some point, I do actually need to kill the other Bone Noble, but now that he's in position 3, that's significantly easier. I'll start with the stun, because I'm tired of being hit by Tempting Goblet. Just smite the commander. Protection or not, that extra bit of damage to Unholy is a big deal. More importantly, he's within reach of Crush. And there he goes.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
Stun resistance is only 70%, but it's enough. Well, let's try that again. Still no luck. Well, I have a lot of stunning abilities.
Great is the weapon that
And
cuts
none of
on
them
its
mattered.
own.
Oh no, this is just a regular curio. Well, we can get some free healing off of it. Oh, I didn't realize it also granted stress healing, or I would have used that on the Crusader. Again? The game is...
Tools of iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose.
This game is really rubbing my nose in the fact that I forgot to bring the shovels. Well, at least it was necessary. We have a quest location
The way is
down
lit.
here.
The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
And now hunger. Well, hunger at least is a problem that I managed to prepare for. Alright. Well, let's just destroy the blasphemous altar. Alright. And commence backtracking. The game is really feeling difficult. One of them is going to be about here, and the other one is going to be up here. But the good news is, we had to dig a whole bunch of stuff by hand, but we found a secret door. I was just thinking about you. I was just wondering if you would show up, Mr. Collector. Okay, 70% resistance, so 50% chance that this stuns. No. 40% chance that this does. No. 50%, 60% chance for this one. No. Perhaps this stun will be more to your liking. There we go. Yeah, this is what happens when you let me bring a team, all of whom have stunning abilities. Okay. This one has a 0% chance to stun, but that doesn't really matter because there's nothing else you can do. Managed to delay collect call quite a while. Alright. Crush on the Vestal. They're not Eldritch, they're Unholy.
Eradicated.
And critical hits really don't care about damage bonuses. Manacles, in particular, because if we can prevent him from using lifesteal, that would be very helpful. Okay, head games. Does he receive... Yes, he does receive a protection bonus from that. Okay, you're Eldritch, you're not Unholy, but if I can dazzle you... I can't. And Headhunt. We already lost somebody to Headhunt. I need to be careful around that one.
A decisive pummeling.
Haha! I banish thee. And since he's stunned, protection bonus or not, he cannot protect the Collector anymore. Though we're gonna need to get rid of the Highwayman, or at least remove him from the fight one way or another. Show Collection is one of his less dangerous abilities. Alright. Probably should have gone for Divine Grace, but I went with Comfort anyway. And now I'm paying for it. Zealous Accusation does 4 to 8. Smite does 7 to 13. Unfortunately, I decided to roll a little low. I'm going to Rampart the Highwayman because I want him stunned. I don't want to have to deal with Open Vein again. That's called Headhunt now. Whenever I think of one of their abilities, I keep thinking of the ability of mine that it's just based off of. So, Headhunt is quite clearly Open Vein, and so I think of it as being Open Vein. But that can only push you into position 3 because you were pulled forward.
Masterfully executed.
Actually, even if this doesn't kill, well, it killed.
Give them no quarter.
I was hoping to once again force it behind the Collector so the Collector can't as easily retreat. 9 to 17, or... I don't want him using Collect Call again. Though I think I'm paying back all of the luck that I got during that fight with the Shambler, because the thing about this, because the odds say I should have stunned him more than I have, but at the same time, if this is just the backlash for all of those heroes coming out virtuous, I'll take it. This is totally fair. Crush. He's not using Direct Call, which is good, but I really need to get rid of the Highwayman. Fortunately, he used Headhunt on the guy who can take it this time. Smite. Okay, we're almost done with him.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
And as if to make me eat my words about saying Headhunt against someone who can, that he's using Headhunt against a better target, he decides to get a critical and remind me that there is no such thing as a good target for Headhunt. Crush. Okay, just a little more damage and he's gone. So Smite would do 9 to 17. So could have killed, could have not. But one more hit and we're done. Unfortunately, one more hit and Gilpin may be done.
As the ghoulish collection scatters, the rats prepare to feast.
Rats are a lot braver than I am. I wouldn't go near anything like that. Alright.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
And even we already got a trapezohedron from the collector, and now we get more of them.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Okay, and I'm gonna gamble that we'll find more emerald. I'm gonna drop 1 stack of gold. Alright. And we're approaching the edge of the scouting. We're also gonna need to rest up. We encountered the collector much earlier than usual for, and here we go again. This game really is not gonna let me live down for getting the shovels. It was kind of has me wondering, is it possible to encounter the collector more than once in a single, and we also have, oh, it's just a bone spearman. For a second I thought that was the mini-boss enemy, then I remembered the unique, that's only on champion missions, and the unique enemy for this area is Bone Bearer. But I wonder if it's possible to encounter the Shambler more than once. 7 to 13. Woohoo! We hold as one and strike as one. Well, what? Alright, Pinned, why don't you hack something up at that guy? Okay, that's the end of the Spearman already. This is going well. Okay, you actually go for Inspiring Cry, because Gilpin, I need you not to be afflicted.
A blazing star is born.
Unto us a star is born, unto us a torch is given. Alright. Stick with Beast File, because it's actually my most damaging move against these guys. The stun resistance is only 70%. So let's just go with that.
Precision and power.
And rampart this guy a little bit. I really shouldn't have done that with how high his move resistance is. Just keep up the bile. And yeah, his blade resistance is actually all the way down to 0. Okay, let's just take a moment to appreciate that Gilpin has managed to dodge Tempting Goblet 3 consecutive times. I'm also using Defender to make sure he doesn't get hit by another one.
A time to perform beyond one's limits.
Ground Pound. Only tagged the Vestal, but that's enough of a problem. Yeah, everybody's gonna need some stress treatment when this is all over. even though a number of these heroes have some kind of stress management ability, it isn't likely to be enough, especially when that kind of stuff starts to happen. Alright, that's the end of the commander. Let's see if we can also make it the end of the noble. Maybe? Yep, there we go.
Falls.
Okay, so the noble dies the next time he gets an action, and we get at least one group heal before that happens. Some absolution in there, too. And there we go.
By inches.
Would have been nice if I could have gotten an inspiring cry in on top of that, but no such luck. Curio, quest location, Curio. Okay, the issue is, I don't know that there isn't a quest location at the end of this hallway, so we're going to have to go to the end of the hallway to find out.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Okay. This is going to be a bit of a challenge. Alright, Beast's Bile will only hit the ghoul. This will do 2 to 3. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's go with this. Nobody has a stunning ability that can reach the one in the back. Well, that's only mostly true.
Find victory.
If I can... Okay, its move resistance is 82% versus 130% base move chance. If I can knock him back... Now I can use Stunning Blow. And they're all stunned. That plan required some long odds, but we got away with it. Unfortunately, I forgot. Gargoyles are fast.
Blurred vision. The end approaches.
Okay. And now Beast Bile can at least hit 2 different enemies. So gargoyles are considered unholy, so forcing them into this position is at least somewhat helpful. Not quite enough, but he gets 2 actions instead of 1. The unblighted gargoyle needs to die this turn. Alright. That leaves us with 1 gargoyle that gets 1 last action and then expires. And the ghoul. Which is... Okay, so the gargoyle did nothing, so we're left with just having to deal with the ghoul. Just the ghoul. Oh, yay. 3 stress per round for 3 rounds. You need Inspiring Cry, or you will become afflicted. Actually, you'll just have a resolve... Actually, you'll just have your resolve tested. Quick group heal. The health levels, at least, are holding up okay. Stress that I'm worried about. Beast's Bile tends to do more damage in total.
Slowly.
Just over a longer period of time.
This is how a life is taken.
Okay, this time I need to inspire your teammate. Right. And now it's damage race time.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
And Baozhou would like to demonstrate that he is fully capable of taking on champion level missions. Okay, yeah, this is a wonderful team to have to go up against when several people are in danger of becoming afflicted. I'm gonna stick with Beast Bile for the Abomination. Problem is, I don't want to risk using his, Crush to 7 to 13. Rolled a little low. So, what will Zealous Accusation do? 5 to 9. That's enough. Yeah, it did 7, so that's 1 gladiator gone. The Blight will take him. The other gladiator doesn't have much time left either. In the meantime, I'm just gonna have the Vestal keep zapping the Cultist Witch. Stick with these Spile.
The slow death.
That's the end of one.
Unforeseen.
And the other one's... I need to do 1 point of damage to the gargoyle and it will die. Dazzle the witch so that she can't increase the stress level, or attempt to anyway. Alright. And now... Zealous Accusation can end the Gladiator and the Blight, and get the Gargoyle's health low enough that they'll die to Blight. And the Witch absolutely made the wrong call. She really... His stress level is 99. She really should have gone for Stressful Incantation. But who am I to complain? Okay, let's get your stress a little bit farther away from the breaking point.
Compassion
and critical healing can reduce stress levels, which is good.
Battle.
Alright. Everybody with healing abilities use them. We'll let the Man-at-Arms finish the Witch off next turn. Because this way we can reduce the stress levels a bit. Not a lot, but a bit. It's easy to underestimate the importance of stress skills until you don't have them.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless. Glittering gold,
Strongbox,
trinkets
nothing
and
of value.
baubles.
We have scouting,
Paid
though.
for in blood.
Okay, no quest locations this way, so we can just skip the rest of this area and go the other way. Running a little bit low on, kind of everything. And, well, some stress treatment is going to be necessary at the end of this experience. Fortunately, the Crusader has been doing a surprisingly good job of disarming the traps. I know some classes are better at it than others. The thing is... Oh, right, this requires holy water, which we no longer have. This just requires keys.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
The thing is, I frequently just try to use the traps as a way of reducing people's stress level, so I'll just give it to whoever has the highest stress level. Which at this point may just be me.
Traps lie in wait, unsprung and thirsting for blood.
You know, at the beginning of this experience, I would have said it was just poetic license to describe the traps as thirsting for blood. Now... No, those traps know what they're doing. Crush can reach the spearman, but without a critical will not kill him. We're not going to get rid of the commander this round. Judgment has an 8% chance of killing the spearman, so I'm going to stun him. Correction, I'm going to attempt to stun him. Thank you for pointing that out to me, game.
The ground quakes.
Alright, that's the end. The spearman gets one last attack to remember him by.
Clarified in a single strike.
The Vestal is so messed up, she's begging someone else to heal her. That's bad. Stick with Crush. And Smite, because of the extra damage to Unholy, is the only regular attack we have that does meaningful damage to the commanders. Aside from the eventual damage caused by, what's it called? I have a plan. It starts with using Judgment and having it miss. and now the plan has failed. I was hoping to get him to die on his turn from being blighted, by just reducing his health enough for that to happen. That will happen. It will just happen next turn. May as well use Inspiring Cry now. And Manacle the Aura Blessed. Now we may as well use this as an opportunity to get some healing in. We're in the last room, but my goal is to finish this mission with low stress levels. So, let's just use... Basically, I'm just going to use Inspiring Cry and, whoa. Wasn't expecting that to happen.
The bigger the beast, the greater the glory.
Okay, so... We officially have no reason to hold on to any kind of supply items. And let's light up the firewood and see if we can use camping skills to reduce the stress levels a bit. We can afford the feast because we won't need the food again.
Firelight and uneasy companionship.
Zealous Vigil to prevent nighttime ambush and reduce his stress level. Zealous Speech to do the same to reduce the stress level of everyone in the team. And I can use Pray to reduce everyone's stress except the Vestal herself. And we're pretty much okay. That turned the stress situation around real quick. However, we are out of food, so we can't really risk continuing to adventure, so let's get back to the hamlet.
Beacons in the darkness, stars in the emptiness of the void.
$21,000 gold. Okay, he's only resolve level 5. And he has Hylomania, which could be a bit of an issue. And Hind has Dipsomania, which could also be an issue. The Vestal's Torn Rotator isn't really a problem.
The shuffling dead are silenced. We have claimed dominion over the ruins once more.
I have an idea. But first, that's not what I was trying to do. Corey desperately needs some stress treatment. And so does Boissel. Once again, Bloody Herb is neat, but it only really enhances Incision for the Plague Doctor. So the Nomad Wagon doesn't really have anything impressive. However, I can get Baozhou up to maxing out his equipment. Master Sergeant, and then the Bludgeon and the Bulwark. And I can also upgrade his abilities. Crush, Rampart, Defender, Retribution, and yeah, that should be good. That's enough upgrading of Baozhou specifically for a little while. Let's see about treating any potential negative quirks. Let's see, Altard. Let's treat Altard's anemia for one. And while we're at it, do we have enough gold to lock in his balanced status? We do. I mean, it'll leave us a little broke, but enough to fund one more mission. So, oh, the funding was nice while it lasted, but it's gone. Anyway, this isn't going to be the end for this part, but I am going to get us a fresh recording file. So, I will be back in a moment.
There is a great horror beneath the manor. A crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
Okay, I'm back. I've got a lovely fresh recording file. And I kind of want Baozhou to be completely maxed out. So I'm going to keep him in, and I'm going to bench everyone else. And What's a short? Let's see if I can find a short champion mission. Alright, will give me a duplicate Heaven's Hairpin, which is helpful. So I don't want to bring any of the people who I would use on my Darkest Dungeon run, except Beaujeu. So, not Bertram, Kenuville, and Ide. So I have a basic Mark Exploitation team, and then I also have Kenuville to keep the stress levels down. So, unequip all trinkets, sort by character class, and you get the Bright Tambourine and the critical dice. You get the Wrathful Bandana and the Bullseye Bandana. You get the Tentacle Idol and actually you get the Book of Sanity and the Flesh's Heart. And you get Wolf's Tassel. And what do we have that's bounty hunter specific? The wounding helmet. Alright, we don't need the portrait for this one. I don't think. How close exactly are you? Yeah, he needs 1 resolve experience to max out. Alright, I'm not forgetting the shovels this time. Don't need very many though. Don't really need to bother with anti-venom. Honestly, 8 food is probably enough for a short mission. A couple of keys, 1 more medicinal herbs, 1 key just in case. Wait, I already have keys. For a couple of holy water just in case. And we should be good. It's a short mission, so it shouldn't take too long. Yes, the short mission should be short.
These salt-soaked caverns are teeming with pelagic
but
nightmares.
We only need 1 experience point.
They must be flushed out.
Ooh, that's a lot to find. Much of it isn't really very good, though. And our first catch of the day. Mark the piranha for death. Its bleed resistance is relatively high, but I think you can make it bleed. And that's the end of the piranha. Exactly where I called it. Rampart the other piranha, and we even got a stun. So we have to deal with 1 attack from the plated maggot, and I'm going to see if I can make that the only attack the enemy team gets in this fight. So mark the piranha for death. Nope, we have to deal with Seaward Slash. Inspiring Tune already, because his stress was actually sort of high going in. And
Press disadvantage.
That's the end of everything.
Give them no quarter.
That's it.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Impressive loot for such little trouble. And just keep moving. Whoa.
Ancient
Somebody had to step in, I suppose.
Unsprung and thirsting for blood.
Brackish Tide Pool. And, yep, stress relief. Which is good, because I do actually need to reduce the Man-at-Arms' stress a little bit. I don't want him going into the Darkest Dungeon with plenty. But yeah, just attempting a nice, relaxing champion level mission. That's the goal here. Just nice, restful, calming champion level expedition into the Cove. Well, time for a little more violence. And of course the game sees that I'm trying to do that and decides to throw a squiffy ghast at me. Cure the stress later. Let's start by missing the enemy. Okay. Mark for Death and Sniper Shot can both reach the Ghast in position 3. In position 4, I mean. Let's actually Rampart the champion because I don't want him defending anything. Now we have to deal with the other 3. Except the Ghast just kind of screwed himself. He jumped straight into position 1, where he jumped straight into position 1, where Pennant can reach him. In theory, anyway. Let's see who goes next. And and now he's jumping back into position 4, where Ide can reach him. He's just being really careful to make sure he's within range of my mark exploiting skills. Of course, it doesn't change the fact that he's inflicting a lot of stress. And fortunately for me, the champion decided to use Barnacle Barrier on the wrong target. Alright, we're almost rid of the Ghast. I'm gonna Rampart the champion this time. As long as he's using Barnacle Barrier on the Cultist, I'm fairly certain he won't use it on the Ghast. And the main thing is I don't want him to use that ability to protect the Ghast. Eldritch Push could be a bit of a problem. But when push comes to shove, Pennant is very reliable. Yeah, for mark. Oh, right, you can't. You can. It's possible to block a marking skill. Okay, that's the end of the Ghast.
As the enemy crumbles.
Means the stress accumulation should return to a more normal level. Let's try ramparting this guy again. Nope. However, there is something else I can do. Because he's defending the Cultist Witch. First, let's go with Harvest. Because really, I need him to bleed to do meaningful damage to him. However, when it eventually rolls around to being Ide's turn, which may happen eventually at some point.
To a killing blow.
Oh no, and he's not defending her anymore. But he's moved back. So, now he's within range of both Collect Bounty and Sniper Shot. That takes care of the champion. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of ways of restoring health. I focused very heavily on minimizing stress. Partially because the plan was just to be in and out quickly, and then the health will recover on its own.
Unforgiving.
I'm going to need to make some use of Battlefield Bandage, though. This is what happens when you go into a champion-level mission without a main healer. And with his last breath, he still manages to create problems. Yeah.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Hold is one and strike is one. Actually, gonna go for Battle Ballad because of the increased critical chance. Eldritch Push, at least it's not stressful incantation. And Collect Bounty deals extra damage to human enemies. And the witch has decided she also is not going to go down easy. But she is going to go down.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
I've kind of been experiencing that with this mission, considering the fact that I was arrogant enough to go in without a main healer, and that's been having some consequences.
glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Alright, stashed heirlooms, those are of no use to me. I'm gonna drop the ones that are already in my inventory that I didn't notice. Okay, this could be the last room battle. Of course, the previous one also could have done.
As the light gains purchase,
See if you can stun the
spirits are
pressure.
lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Oh!
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
Let's go with Harvest, because that way you can reach the tide faster. 9 to 19. I have an idea. We do need to get rid of the Uea Savage, after all. Except, Ide is my main healer, so I can't really afford to do that. This is what happens when you don't plan properly. And now somebody else is at death's door.
And now the true test. Hold fast, or expire.
10 to 22 without a critical. Harvest and Slice Off both hit the same. Both only hit the Savage, so let's just use Slice Off. He's 140% stun resistance. Rana has less. Alright. So again, go to Battlefield Bandage. Unfortunately, long fights are not our friend, and a long fight will be very hard to prevent in this
clarified in a
situation.
single strike.
And we now have two
Life
different
ebbs.
people at death's door at the same
Terrible
time.
vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
Let's see. I'm seriously contemplating just running. As bad of an idea as this is, I think we can still win.
Survival is a tenuous proposition in this sprawling tomb.
I think I made the wrong call. Crush can't kill this turn. In fact, it can't even hit. Okay, that settles it. We're retreating.
The sin is not in being outmatched, but in failing to recognize it.
In fact, not only are we retreating, we're gonna have to abandon this quest.
Failure tests the mettle of heart, brain, and body.
Yeah, I figured because it was a short mission we could get away with it, but we could not. I flew too close to the sun and my wings melted.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Okay. And not only that, but Baozhou himself now has too much stress to safely go on a mission. Oh, let's see what the Stagecoach has for us. It has another Man-at-Arms.
The raw strength of youth may be spent, but his eyes hold the secrets of 100 campaigns.
In hindsight, I really should have brought Druel for that champion mission that went wrong. So, let me see what my mission options are now. If I were to bring Druel and Montfort, we might actually be able to win this. Start by unequipping all trinkets and sorting by character class. So you get the same stuff you got last time. Because the thing is, I still want to go to the darkest dungeon. I just have a week I need to burn off first. In hindsight, like I said, I should have brought Druel the first time. I don't know what I was thinking going in without a Vestal. However, let's see, what else can I get you? However, this team composition against a short mission, I think we can actually win. And that will just burn off a week and earn us 6,000 gold, which we can use to prepare for the next Darkest Dungeon mission. Grab some food. A key. A little bit of holy water. And I think we're ready to embark. Yep, I learned that the hard way. Repeatedly.
These salt-soaked caverns are teeming with pelagic nightmares. They must be flushed out.
Okay, and the game has decided to give me a baby mission layout. It's a nice and simple layout.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
You know, I'm actually going to move the Jester over to here for now. Because that way he can use his stress management abilities, and then I can switch him into just fighting later. And we have our first room battle. Slice off. Stun the champion. Well, apparently not. Okay, that's the end of the witch, which is good. Now let's stun the other champion.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Barnacle barrier in this case isn't that much of a problem. Slice off on the other champion. Oh, there's a start. Dazzle this champion to take away the defender status. We have bandages, and we have smite. Unfortunately, smite can miss.
Precision and power.
And it has decided to show us why she's here. And apparently, the Pelagie Piranha is very committed to the idea that the main healer should be in position 4. It's been working very hard to get the Vestal into position 4. And the old-fashioned Octocestus. Doesn't hit this time. And now I have a chance to spend a little bit of time doing some healing. The champion is durable, but doesn't hit very hard. And so it's going to take me a few turns to get rid of the champion, and while I'm doing that, I can use things like Inspiring Tune and Inspiring Cry to lower everyone's stress levels. Combined with bringing yet another very stun-heavy team. Your stun resistance is 240%, but everyone's at full health, so I may as well go for the 1 damage that ability will do.
How quickly the tide turns.
All of a sudden, everybody's not at full health. Admittedly, a critical hit on one guy is hardly the end of the world. Canuville continues to be an inspiration.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
And we may as well go for one more stun. And Montfort has decided he's done playing and he's just going to put this thing down.
A trifling victory. but a victory nonetheless.
Stick with the party order we had. I'm not sure what the buff specifically is. Protection and damage, not bad. I don't know exactly how many hallway battle or room battles this mission is going to give us.
The match is struck. A blazing
There
star
can't be
is
too
born.
many. Okay, the loaded thrall could be a bit of a problem. However, we have a lot of stunning abilities.
A singular
Ooh.
strike.
Truly amusing. Whoa, I wasn't expecting stunning blow to do 12. Fortunately, I need to do a bit more than that. And this is a team
Impressive.
composition that struggles to target position 1. Good news is one of us should get an action before the Thrall does, so let's just keep layering on stunning abilities until one of them works.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Okay, we actually need Battle Ballad right now. We also need Battle Bandage.
Destroyed.
I always underestimate the Crusader's ability to cause damage. Like, I'm used to him just doing a little bit of everything. And so, I'm not used to him actually being able to hit meaningfully hard. But he's been getting some pretty good damage numbers today.
Trick of the light.
And more scouting. Okay. And more combat. Is kind of what we're here for. Harvest. Dazzling light on this one. I have half of a plan. Alright, stunning blow. Because even with its reduced damage, stunning blow does a lot of damage. You're gonna need a critical, but with a 33% critical chance,
Continually
that's not
onslaught.
terribly unlikely.
Destroy them all.
Okay, and the maggot's done, which leaves the piranha as the only enemy that's actually going to, that even might get to attack. Use Inspiring Tune. I like stun-oriented team compositions. I like them a lot.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
And Smite could finish the job. Okay, so the piranha actually does get to attack once. I can't quite prevent him from attacking at all.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
However, I'm pretty confident that our Crusader will be able to finish the job.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
Good job, team! This is kind of
Wealth
how I was
beyond
hoping
measure.
things would go last time.
Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike. If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
And we've definitely made back our investment in this mission. The way a savage is going to be a bit of a problem. Good news is we can easily do a lot of damage to him quickly. Bad news is it can do that.
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
Start with Battle Ballad. Okay, guys, the plan is we're going to hit really hard, and then we're going to do it again. And we're just going to keep hitting him really hard until he stops moving. Stun if you can. Like that. We have to deal with the Tide Masters whether we like it or not. Slice off may not do a lot of damage, but bleeding is actually a pretty reliable way of getting rid of this kind of thing. And stick with the position 2 Vestal for the healing. And our old pal Smite for the damage. Sniper shot. Only 6 to 13 damage because of the high protection, but with a 45% chance to critical. It's really fun to stack critical hit buffs. Now if only I had something to buff critical damage, that would be even better. But I don't believe there is anything that increases the amount of extra damage critical hits.
The flesh is knit.
I'm just looking forward to what happens when the two Tide Masters are all by themselves because the Crusher is gone. And yet another critical. And there we go.
Falls.
You guys were so sure of yourselves when you had Nuea Savage backing you up. Look at you now. Look at you now. You do have Ceremonial Cut. I mean, it's not quite Sacrificial Stab, but it's close. And now we can just have the two damage-dealing classes take care of the cleanup. And the odds managed to catch up to Ide. Her damage finally rolled low. You know, it's funny to think about, but the Bright Tambourine is actually one of my favorite trinkets. Just because of how much that little extra boost to stress skills tends to get you.
Remind yourself
and that's the end of this mission. Awesome.
Slow and insidious killer.
I am going to open the heirloom chest in case it contains something helpful, which it does not. Okay, this is how the other mission was supposed to go.
Life can flourish. If indeed there is such a thing.
This is how the other mission was supposed to go, but well, it worked this time. And we got a decent amount of gold and some lovely new diseases. Second Wind is pretty good, but I think Balanced was actually better.
Woe to the sheep. Or does the absence of the shepherd not invite the wolves?
The abbot has sequestered himself in the wine cellar to consider how best to help his parishioners. Yeah, I'm sure that's what he's doing. Either way, though, the whole team I was hoping to use is actually ready to go, and I think I can live with Baozhou being in the condition that he's in. However, I'm not spending any gold because the issue is we could come away from this mission having made no money whatsoever. And so I'm going to save all of our extra gold for in case we need to fund another mission. What disease does he have? Reduce healing skills while camping. Healing skills aren't that important in camping. So Baozhou, Bertrand, Corey, and Altad. I'm going to switch these two's positions. Okay, so who doesn't get a torch? I'm actually going to have the Vestal be the one who doesn't have a torch, and instead just go for maximum healing. The reasoning behind this is I'm almost certainly already going to be protecting the Vestal. Stun and Blight chance, or sword by character class restriction. The Blasphemous Vials are... What else could I give? I'm actually going to give the Plague Doctor Wilbur's Flag. His main job is to use battlefield medicine to cure Blight. You, in addition to the torch... I need to take it away from someone. You get the Tentacle Idol. Who had that last time? I'm just gonna have to start over because I can't remember which hero had the Tentacle Idol. But you get the Tentacle Idol and a torch. You get a torch and... I'll just give him the Siren's Conch. The reduced stress could actually be really helpful. You get the usual, and you don't get a torch. And Altard, he gets a torch, and... honestly, I'll give him the Flesh's Heart, making him even tankier than he already was. This is a very defense-oriented team composition, but I think it will work. Okay. I'm going to drop Pep Talk for Instruction. You have... he has Wound Care for Encourage. And Reflection is also likely to be helpful. And... I'm gonna drop Self-Medicate for Encourage. Okay. This is going to be very difficult, but I think we can do it. And yeah, this episode's gonna be a bit longer than I usually do, but... well, there's more that I wanted to get done. I wanted to take another shot at the Darkest Dungeon. And, yeah, in addition to bringing the Plague Doctor, I'm also bringing a whole bunch of anti-venom and bandages. Other than that, we just need torches and food. And I'm going... I saved my money for a reason. I'm going all in on the supplies we are bringing. Because even if I buy everything... even if I essentially buy everything, we still have enough money to fund another mission if we have to. So that's how we're doing this.
The thing has no name, for it needs no language. Nevertheless, those who would submit to its word, this will, are rewarded in a fashion. The creature's blessings are as repulsive as they are robust. Twisted, half-human monstrosities stalk the flesh-ridden halls, protecting their gestating god.
I have nothing to add to that. Okay, so I got the basic layout last time. I'm gonna go for the room where things went wrong faster.
It crawls steadily upward from the pit, supported by the lattice of cyclopean pillars.
Alright. I'm gonna go for the more difficult room while we have more resources. Okay.
The light, the promise of safety.
That was Noxious Blast. And he's gonna give Bertrand the finger. Maul the flesh, but unfortunate and it misses. However, when Bojo tries to maul that thing's flesh, he does not miss.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Alright, and just immediately heal Bertrand back up. And flesh to flesh, which is completely meaningless because he's undamaged. Death Lash, which is terrifyingly meaningful. I have a plan. Choosing Golden Vapors. $17 to $33. Unfortunately, he has the same problem that he usually has. I'm not sure if Emboldening Vapors is limited by its number of uses per mission or to a limited number of uses in total. Okay, I really need to get rid of the Rapturous Cultist. For now, a nice high damage roll, and Bertrand to finish the job. Alright, that's the end of one.
The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving. Rampart
of the Rapturous guy, so he can't do anything. Oh, right. Let's Dazzling Light the other one. Noxious Blast. And we're in a situation where we can afford to just take a moment to heal. And then take a moment and hew. If he doesn't get healing, which he... Okay, that's it. I can basically... If I can get rid of the Raptor's Cultist, that would be better. And I can.
Disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
So, you almost had it. You almost had the opportunity to take advantage, but you didn't. Well, that's the end of all of that. There we go.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
You know, that was rather difficult for being the first fight in this dungeon. But we can handle it. Yeah, the main reason I brought Bertrand was as extra treatment for blight and bleeding. Though, considering the fact that I have 12 anti-venom and 12 bandages, that may be unnecessary. Defensive growth, and then Grand Guard. That also increases its protection, doesn't it? Okay. And we're going to deal with... I stand by what I said last episode. The Cultist Priests are the most dangerous one-square enemy in the game. Stick with Crush. Nobody is critically damaged yet. Stick with Healing for you. There's a reason why I really emphasized healing with how I spec'd out the vessel.
Decimated.
Ha! There's no point in bothering with the back two until the defender status is gone. So yes, Emboldening Vapors is 2 uses per battle. Actually, I'm going to go with Battlefield Medicine. Because the thing about having another hero cure you is it means that you don't have to spend a turn. You don't have to take 1 tick of the damage over time before it goes away.
Nerves and panic.
Chop. So Crush won't finish the job and won't even really get close. So we may as well use Rampart and see if we can get a stun. Yeah, go for the focus healing.
Momentary abatement.
Okay, things are holding up well. We're managing to defeat the random enemies. Okay, so the defensive growths are apparently just as dumb as the Raptor's Cultists are.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
And bringing back an old friend from the beginning of the project, Plague Grenade.
A decisive pummeling.
I love how he got a critical hit, which did 8 damage with Rampart, and that was enough to reduce his stress level, even though Rampart didn't stun and didn't move. Like, oh, like that was a proper flanking. Grand Guard, which isn't entirely a bad thing, because I actually do want to get rid of the defensive growth before I get rid of the last cultist, because unbearable tremors is actually a serious problem. Unfortunately, defensive growths are rather durable. See, that's a time where where getting excited about your critical hit is appropriate. Okay, so he's blighted for 12 and he has 11. So we're done with the defensive growth. So I can use Emboldening Vapors.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
And this could be a one-shot, but it isn't. This is honestly a good thing. It gives me a turn to do a little bit of healing.
In the fevered pitch of battle.
And there we go. And as if to just supplement that, we get to finish him off with Crush anyway. I'm really excited about the Tentacle Idol. That thing is going to be really helpful.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
And from here, we could go up to go for the room we did first last time, but I'm going to go for the room we did last time instead. I already pretty much have an idea of the route I want to take based on my understanding of, based on what I believe the layout is. Okay. 2 malignant growths, a priest, and a cultist. Alright. Crush won't do a lot, but taking out the growths is going to be a slow process. Slow-ish process, anyway. Alright, Daze the Mind at least is their less dangerous ability. But fortunately, I have something I can do about the Rapturous Cultist. And that something is Plague Grenade. And while I'm at it, Tori just needs to keep putting the Man-at-Arms back together as he keeps getting broken apart. Whoa.
Unnerved, unbalanced.
Keep it up with the grenades.
Singular strike.
I do kind of wish you would have gotten that critical last turn, though, Altard.
Slowly, gently.
That's the end of the Rapturous Cultist.
This is how a life is taken.
Really glad I gave the Flesh's Heart to Altard. That extra health has really made the difference. And it falls to Bertrand to finish off the Cultist Priest. And Bertrand is more than willing to rise to that occasion.
A death by inches.
Bertrand can go for Noxious Blast. But I want to get at least a little bit more healing in here. Actually, I now have no reason to attack anymore. Because it's going to die on its own from poisoning. So we can just make use of our healing abilities. And now we get critical healing. Just like that a little
Great
earlier.
is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Leave it to me to complain about getting critical hits multiple times. That's just... let it be known, I just love to gripe. Only I could complain about criticals. Wait. What? The layout... I must have misremembered the layout. I could have sworn the next one was this way. I suppose it makes relatively little difference. Okay, yeah, so it's down here. Well, moment of truth time. We're starting with the difficult one because if we can't beat this team going in at full strength, we're just not capable of completing this mission. Of course, I'm not entirely sure I'd characterize our present state as full strength. And revelation right at the beginning. And I hate to break this to you, Corey, but you are the healer. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Build the chop. They have protection of 0. Defender. I'm gonna go for the Defender Retribution combo because, well, Retribution is powerful against enemies that get multiple actions per round. Emboldening Vapors is also just always powerful. In fact, I'm doubling up on the... So it lasts for the whole battle, too. I'm doubling up on Emboldening Vapors for the Leper. And Revelation, which still does a little bit of stress. So I'm suing them for false advertising for the minus 100% Revelation stress. And we still have to deal with Torment. Keep it up with the healing. And Retribution. Defender plus Retribution means that the majority of their actions will generate a counterattack, one way or another. And combine that with the fact that their blight resistance is relatively low, but frankly, the plus 50% damage for the entire battle, Bertrand has kind of done enough. He doesn't need to do any more than that. And that's literally the only action you could have taken that wouldn't generate a counterattack. Alright, keep the healing up.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
This expedition is doomed. Not yet, man. Not yet. Okay, Defender wore off. And so did that Templar's life. I'll have Bertrand get started working on the next one.
Their cursed champion falls.
Okay, stun resistance of 98%. I'm not going for a stun ability with that little chance of success. Alright. And he picked the best possible target for me to use Revelation on. Alright, let's get Defender going. The downside is we didn't bring any good stress management abilities. And that could actually become a problem. We're also having some trouble keeping up with the healing curve in spite of bringing a Vestal and a Plague Doctor. And his resolve is tested. And unfortunately, even with the elevated...
Frustration and fury. More destructive than 100 cannons.
And even with the Tentacle Idol, he still ends up becoming afflicted. Fortunately, Chop continues to be reliable.
Impressive.
As does Noxious Blast. Out of my way, don't trip me up. Oh, wonderful. Well, there we go. And I'm sure he's going to take credit for that kill, even though it's not his kill.
Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
Okay, that's 2 people afflicted. Well, let's at least get the, let's get the leper off of death's door. And I'm just gonna focus on trying to end the fight for now.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Okay, and glory. And yeah, we're gonna take some rest now.
Circle in the dark. The battle may yet be won.
Okay. Reflection. Pray just in case. And tactics. And then you may as well encourage the Vestal, but unfortunately there's not a lot we can do with these camping skills in regards to managing
the path
stress.
is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Okay, I'm not giving up yet, but our odds of success on this venture just went down a lot. We have 2 afflictions already, and the leper is well on his way, in addition to having a mortality debuff. So, yeah, we're in just the smallest bit of trouble. Now, I suppose this... wait, no, this isn't qualified as a boss fight, so I can't even get the dysfunction achievement for completing a mission with 4 heroes who are all afflicted. Admittedly, considering the fact that if I run away, someone dies, it might be more worthwhile to just power through
victory
and find out what happens. I am going for the weakest, I believe, of the 3 Templar fights next. So we're just going based on the order as I understand it. Okay, the malignant growth is bolstered.
Masterfully executed.
Well, he may be abusive, but he gets the critical hit when you need it.
But never hidden.
Let's use Emboldening Vapors. Won't increase accuracy, so I'm gambling a little bit here. Yeah, Flesh Wall, I know. Yeah, the finger, I know. Okay, at least it didn't stun the leper. 16 to 32, so yeah, more likely than not it dies. Just barely not enough to get rid of the Raptor's Cultist. That's unfortunate. I was hoping at least he would be gone. However, now we have to deal with a bolstered Cultist Priest. And yet, once again, the good news is the Raptor's Cultists are very stupid. And I should, and I can finish him off with Plague Grenade. Ah, critical healing, right when we need it. Grand Guard. The thing is, the stress levels are high enough that we can't deal with the tremor effect, so we really need to get rid of the defensive growth first anyway. And it using Grand Guard places it within range of our more damaging abilities for the most part. Of course, it also means we have to tolerate Death Lash and the Finger for a little while. Just continue evenly distributing the healing. How do you miss that? Unfortunately, we really need to get rid of the defensive growth quickly as it keeps bolstering the Cultist Priest. Blight really is not the best tool to deal with this. The tremor in my voice is... Don't worry about that tremor in my voice, it's just sheer terror at watching what just happened.
No hope in this hell.
Cobwebs in the dining hall, weevils in the crust. Alright. Things are going in a generally not good direction. If this blights, we're done with the growth. Okay. Stun the priest now. Darn it. Needed him to be stunned. Well, let's see if... Okay, dead works too. Dead is at least as good as stunned when it comes to the end. And rampart your way back into position for no real reason other than because I don't feel like making you pass the turn. And that's the end of the growth.
As victories mount,
Oh, right,
so
and the only
will
kind of
resistance.
curio that we can have... It's the mustache cream. It's the Ancestors' mustache cream. There truly is no escape from the mustache cream. And also, we now have 3 out of 4 of our team afflicted. I am far from confident of our success in this venture. On the other hand, aside from the stress levels, the fights have been manageable. So, I understand that we're really up against it, but we may still win. I'm not ready to give up just yet. You know me, I love a good give up, but not yet. I would really like to stun the defensive growth, but we really need healing. Alright, so I'm going to kill the one it doesn't use Grand Guard on. Okay, and crush. And he's within range where Chop could kill him. It's far from certain, but it could happen. Unfortunately, that little bit of uncertainty may be the death of me. Fortunately, enemy healers really do not know how to pick their targets. Okay, if it blights, it does not. Well, there we go. Now it's gone. And the leper is having a crisis of faith, I suppose. Well, he still needs healing. I'm using Solemnity. When is that defender status going to wear off? Now. Battlefield Medicine. That way he doesn't have to take a tick of bleeding damage. Unfortunately, my damage buff never wears off. I'm honestly feeling bad for the Vestal. She's basically just afraid. Alright, I'll have you start on the defensive growth. It may have been a mistake. Plague Grenade, same thing. Start on the defensive growth. A critical would be immensely appreciated right now, Baozhou. The light may or may not have forsaken you, but I haven't. I'm gonna get you guys through this somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I'm gonna find a way. Okay, now we just have to deal with maddening tremors. Unbearable tremors, I mean. Same difference. Okay, it doesn't cause that much stress. Alright, and now you just have to undo the damage you just did to yourself, Altard. Okay, one more crush and it's done, which means we just have to deal with unbearable tremors one more turn at most. Judgment will only do 2 to 4, just stick with healing. Alright. And there we go. Altard continuing to pretty much be the MVP of this mission.
These nightmarish creatures
and
can
straight
be
up
felled.
from here
They
is the
can be
next one.
beaten.
Alright. My torch.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Okay. Yeah, this one is just the regular Templar and 2 Flesh Hounds. Okay, fetch. It missed anyway, but it's also less dangerous. Okay. Let's see if we can dazzle this one. We cannot. Revelation on someone who can take it. Alright, this is going alright.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
As I said, this is going alright. We've got plenty of anti-venom. Go for Defender because we can't risk the Revelation on the Vestal. It could actually cause her to have a heart attack. And let's exploit Battlefield Medicine. I'm gonna get everybody utility out of that thing I can. It's gonna take 2 chops to kill them consistently until I get Emboldening Vapors active. Which he's apparently not going to let me do, so in that case, Plague Grenade it is.
Precision and power.
Okay, she's just stressing her teammates out this time. Okay, so Altard has really decided that he wants to die, which is unfortunate because I really need him to be inflicting damage on the enemy, and his death wish is kind of making it harder for him to do that. Okay, Revelation, once again, on somebody who can handle it. So that is starting to change as he accumulates, as he gets close to 200 stress. If only you had let me use, what's it called? Emboldening Vapors. Well, it wound up not mattering, I suppose. Yeah, and the Vestal doesn't get to heal us this turn. Lovely. Also, I'm noticing, so Revelation can never actually miss, it seems. Unfortunately, this version of the Templar is relatively fragile, and yes, 105 hit points is relatively fragile. Alright. Keep using Crush on the Templar. I can really use a critical, and instead I get a miss. Alright. Emboldening Vapors, this time he lets me do it. That's good. That is bad, however.
As
At least he's not bleeding. He's just at death's door.
Terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
Unfortunately, the 8 stress from Revelation, that isn't going to kill him either, but we're getting kind of close to that point. Okay, and Doomsday causes damage. Well, it missed, but it in theory causes... Well, shit. And the main healer decided to skip her turn. And this is where everything falls apart. Okay. Get the Man-at-Arms healed. Let's start with that. One problem, and he's back on death's door. At least he isn't bleeding. I think Nash... Yeah, Nash doesn't cause bleeding, just stress. Okay, and he decided to destroy a corpse instead of damaging the enemy. Alright, once again, we're going to need to make camp immediately rather than being able to save it for when it will be more effective. Because we need to get Baojo's stress level down or he will die. Alright, Crush. To which he retaliates with Doomsday.
Teetering on the brink.
Okay, lighted and at death's door, and... There he goes.
This is no place for the weak or foolhardy.
And Bertrand is focused. Armor is no defense against plague. Just heal the plague doctor. Let's go with that for now.
Precision.
Right, he managed to target the one person who isn't protected from Revelation. Okay, that's the end of the Warlord.
Monstrous
just the last
size
flesh
has
hound.
no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
Okay. Nash can't kill the Vestal in one turn. Okay, so the other 3 survived.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
But given how the first 2 went, there is absolutely no way that we are going to be able to take out the remaining group with 3 people. If the remaining group is stronger than the group that we just took out, we can't finish this mission anymore. So yet again, and this guaranteeing a fatality, I'm forced to retreat.
Wounds to be tended. Lessons to be learned.
Again, we have to run away. We lost Bertrand. It's a shame. He actually was really helpful. But, well, we made it farther that time.
Let each help the other, and in so doing, help themselves.
And the level restrictions have been removed. That could be very helpful. Let's see what you have to offer. Actually, I think I'll decide that next time. But, well, with yet another failure under my belt, this is going to be the end for this part. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. And I'll see you next time, and we'll see about rebuilding and taking another attempt.